Oh. The Arizona Diamondbacks finally snapped their losing streak with a win against the Nationals on Sunday, but at what cost? Corbin Burnes is having an MRI done. He left the game with an elbow injury, and we have more on how bad this could be for this team if Burnes misses a significant amount of time. Don't go anywhere. We're starting in 30 seconds. Welcome into another edition of the PHNX Dbacks podcast right here on PHNX. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as your mayor of PHNX, and also maybe just the mayor of sadness, maybe the mayor of despair with how bad things are getting for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Of course, they're so bad that we had to make some changes around here. We had to make some adjustments. We actually had to spend quite a bit of money and trade away future assets that this podcast, quite frankly, doesn't really have. And we put ourselves into kind of a Sun situation with mortgaging the future. But I think it was necessary to bring back the one and only Damon Fairall, aka Damon Dawg, back here, back on the show, and for good reason, Damon, because as you know, as you've told me several times, time and time again, things were good last time you were the producer of this podcast. In fact, there was a period of time where, as the producer of this very show, the Diamondbacks made it all the way to the World Series. And then last year, despite some struggles early on, things got cooking. And then I don't want to say you abandoned us. I feel like that's not necessarily the word to use, but I do feel like maybe the term is that you had to go and you had to do your thing with the Cardinals. And unfortunately, no offense to Kevin at all, but once Kevin came in as a producer, things weren't great around here.
Yeah, things
Damon.
went off the rails, Derek. We were talking about it on my last PHNX Cardinals show on Friday, and I was saying that when I took over that Cardinals beat, things were desperate, right? Things were desolate. The Diamondbacks were a World Series team, in that run, in that time period. The Cardinals had the least talented roster in the NFL. I felt like I could leave the Cardinals in the hands of Jonathan Gannon and Monty Austinfort, Noah Wolbrecht, all of the big horses in that Cardinals organization. And they have the pieces now, but the Diamondbacks, I saw the struggle. And, I love my guy Kevin, but unfortunately, he does not bring the good Dbacks juices to the table as a producer.
He said it there himself in the chat. He says, I ruined the Diamondbacks. It's okay. You can say it. I mean, he said it. Neither one of us had to. And that's not accusations that I would throw around lightly. But what I will say is that I'm thrilled to be working with this guy again, of course, one of our best. And of course, a guy that loves this Diamondbacks team, loves Jerry P more than he loves any athlete that he could possibly name right now at this point. And hated to see, much like myself, what we saw on Sunday. Of course, this show is still presented to you by our friends at Bet365 and Game Time. So make sure to download that Bet365 app today and use our code of PHNX365 when you sign up. You'll get yourself some bonus bets. Of course, over at Game Time, you use our code of PHNX on your first purchase. You'll get $20 off that purchase. But like I said, the Diamondbacks were able to snap their 4-game losing streak. 4 games that they lost against, quite frankly, some opponents that they should have won against. But that snapping of that win streak came with a cost. And that cost is that Corbin Burnes left yesterday's game with an apparent elbow injury. Just an awful situation, as bad, I think, as you can imagine for this Diamondbacks team. I think that they've experienced quite a bit of bad luck. I think that they've had their fair share of injuries, as other teams in the league have had. But this is a devastating injury, and the hope here, much like Torey said, is to remain optimistic, to remain cautiously optimistic that this injury to Corbin Burnes is a temporary setback, maybe something that might make him miss a short period of time, but hopefully not a significant period of time. With the way that this season has gone, Burnes is very, very important to the Diamondbacks with how good he's been as of late as a starting pitcher. In fact, it's not just the fact that he's been so good, it's the length that he's given them in each one of his outings, considering how bad this bullpen has been. Corbin Burnes has been a quality starts machine for this team. Instead, what we saw is after 4 scoreless innings in his start against the Nationals on Sunday, we saw Corbin Burnes call in the 5th inning over for the bullpen, or not the bullpen, from the dugout for trainer another Esposito. We got a lot of Espositos running around out here. And according to the video and according to people online, it would appear if you go in and do some lip reading, he said, "My elbow's done, it's dead." Now, what that means, what the extent of that injury means, we have no idea. Corbin Burnes was scheduled to have an MRI at 5 a.m. this morning, so we should have some information today, hopefully, an update in regards to that injury. Hopefully him saying that it's dead, that it's his elbow is dead, means that it's just something he was experiencing in the moment, not necessarily something that is going to have bigger impact. But I think that's just me being foolishly hopeful, right? Like this is not.
It is.
This is a bad thing. This is bad. I'm going to say now that this is a bad area to have this injury. The phrasing that he used was bad. Luckily, he was a little bit kinder. We got video here from our guy Jack Summers over at Snakes Territory, and this is what Corbin Burnes had to say after the game.
Kind of tell us about what you felt out there.
Yeah, I mean, just started to get tight on me. Obviously saw the velo starting to drop, and the movement of the pitches was not where we wanted to be. So we kind of got to the point there in the 5th inning that tried 2 or 3 times to put away Abrams and just couldn't do it, and just got to the point where the tightness was just too much that weighed him out, and didn't feel like we needed to push any farther. So hopefully we caught early. Hopefully it's not bad, but we'll see.
How concerned? What's your kind of concern level right now?
I've never had anything like it before, so I really have nothing to compare it to or know. My body does a pretty good job of telling me when I need to not do things and when I can push things, and it does tell me not to push it. So hopefully it was me kind of shutting things down before it got too bad, but yeah, won't really know until we look at it.
Is it tightness in the elbow or the forearm?
It's more, I guess it's elbow. I don't know where your forearm ends and your elbow starts. But yeah, I mean, really all I can say is it got tight, and we'll have to see what the imaging says.
How's the pain?
The tightness in the elbow or the forearm question, it just makes me, it turns my stomach. And I'm hearing from you guys in the chat. We got one, Jacob Franklin is here today. That's always incredible to have him here. He's talking about crying himself to sleep, and understandably so, because this is like, I mean, the Diamondbacks organization probably wants to cry themselves to sleep. I can't really express enough how frustrating this whole situation is, considering, the importance to Corbin Burnes and this starting pitching rotation. We've had so many other struggles between Zach Gallen not being very, very much Zach Gallen-esque, to Eduardo Rodriguez kind of being a bust, losing Jordan Montgomery and him also pitching poorly, but losing Montgomery for the season due to Tommy John surgery. Just nothing that this organization tried to do in the wake of reaching the World Series in 2023 has really worked out. And it's been a frustrating stretch for the organization, I'm sure, considering the way that these situations have gone, right? A lot of them due to injury, a lot of, I guess just a lot of swinging and missing on going out to the free agency market and basically acquiring what many believed was the best available starting pitcher. The Diamondbacks did that 2 off seasons in a row. They did it with Jordan Montgomery in 2024 offseason, and they did it this past offseason with Corbin Burnes. Both moves were surprising that the Diamondbacks were able to land that guy, and both moves solidified this starting rotation, and it made it feel like this team was in a superior position as far as their starting pitching was concerned. Now, you have Ryne Nelson, who was just told that he was going to be moving back to the bullpen because Eduardo Rodriguez is returning from his injury, and that not so fast, Ryne Nelson. You aren't going anywhere, because there's a good chance that even if Corbin Burnes doesn't have a significant injury, that he's still going to miss time due to this elbow tightness. And Ryne Nelson is once again going to be expected to step up into that role as a starting pitcher. Luckily for this team, they have him. Luckily for this team that Ryne Nelson has been performing so well that him returning to the starting rotation or going to the bullpen was a problem, right? It was a problem because how are you going to have a guy who has a 7 ERA return to the starting rotation and move someone that's been excellent over his last 3 starts into the bullpen? Now, I will say that adding Nelson to the bullpen does give the Diamondbacks a significant weapon that they're missing. One that they might have now in Cristian Mena, who was very good on Sunday's game. And again, the bullpen was asked to do quite a bit suddenly once Corbin Burnes left that game. But I mean, light whatever candle you light, burn whatever sage you can, do whatever thing you can to bring this team some good luck, because I don't understand. I thought that once we got out of the month of May, that maybe the month of May couldn't hurt this team anymore. But I was wrong, because on June 1st, the month of May still reached out and grabbed us, Damon. And I'll tell you, it's just been kind of sickening to watch what's happened to this team this year. And then on top of that, I can't help but think, and I keep kicking dirt on these poor people's names, but I can't help but think if the Diamondbacks would have spent the money that they were being asked to spend on one Jock Peterson and Christian Walker, and those guys are having abysmal seasons. So just, I mean, at least there's that they missed on, right? Like, at least that's not happening to them. But I mean, again, if you added in bringing back guys that have been as solid as those two were for them in 2024, and those guys are basically pitching the way they are, I don't know what to tell you. I would say that this would be an all is lost moment. I think at one point I said that if the Diamondbacks don't have a good showing here at the end of the month against the Pirates and the Nationals, that I might be willing to wrap up this season early and give it a time of death. I'm not going to do that with Damon just rejoining the show. I refuse to do that, but I will say that depending on the results of this MRI, I might just pop in and give one later after the show's ended, Damon.
Yeah, Derek, I really don't know what else to say other than, yeah, the vibes are low right now. But I think, we have an opportunity here to really start something special. And hopefully that's the run that catapults this team back into contention, because as dire as it seems, guys, you got to get back to 500, and then you just got to go on a win streak. And then what? Now we're back. Now the vibes are back. It's that simple. And I know it feels like it's all over and the sky's falling, because I get it. It has been, but we're 3 games back from 500 right now. The division is really the thing that is scary. I won't lie.
Yeah, the division's awful. Let's see. We got Carlos saying if it's Tommy John, the season is 100% dead. I'm willing to say that I wouldn't be surprised to once the Diamondbacks did reach that point of the season being dead, if that's when they started playing good baseball. I don't know. I don't know why I feel like that. Maybe it's just the way that Brian Thompson pitches when the team is down and he goes in there versus when the team is up. Maybe it's just Damon all of a sudden giving me hope. I don't know. I feel like the Diamondbacks aren't dead yet. So they're
not, but the second that a Corbin Burnes injury designation goes down, that's the second where they actually are dead. Time of death.
I did see Killer Rex just popped in here, so it's time for our typical Let's Blame Torey segment.
You waited just for him, actually.
Yeah, I waited for him because, of course, the discussion has been, is Torey to blame for Corbin Burnes' injury? And I guess the simple answer is no, it's not. I know there's a lot of people that want to go out there and say that because of the Diamondbacks moving Ryne Nelson to the bullpen and starting Corbin Burnes earlier in the rotation, that's the reason why. But it's not the reason why. He didn't pitch on any abnormal amount of rest due to the day off, right? Am I right about that, Damon, or am I miscalculating the days off?
Yeah, there was that extra day of rest, right, on that Thursday where there was no game. And so it was as if it was a regular rotation through, but they skipped a single starter. So it ended up being only 4 starters rotation through, but it was 5 days.
Mindlessly Scrolling says, absurd to think the season rests on one pitcher's injury. That's a very good point. He does only pitch every 5 days. And also, Ryne Nelson has been inexplicably good, so he is most likely going to stay in the rotation here, at least temporarily, and hopefully not long term, but maybe long term. Maybe Ryne Nelson earns it. Maybe this can be the best of the situation is that Ryne Nelson gets some more time in the starting rotation while Eduardo Rodriguez is still in there. Of course, if Nelson outpitches Rodriguez, there's no reason for them to keep Nelly or put Nelly in the bullpen over Erod. That would just be foolish at that point. But again, a lot of those things that happen, a lot of those roster moves that happen aren't necessarily Torey Lovullo's decision. It's not to say he doesn't have a say in it, but these moves are made, of course, by Mike Hazen. And you know, again, some of these pitching situations that the Diamondbacks have gone through, some of these terrible, I guess, turns of fate that they've experienced with these pitchers they spent a lot of money on isn't really anybody's fault. And again, it just sucks. It feels like, once again, I've told you before, I feel like we sacrificed our pitching soul for Randy Johnson back in the day, and unfortunately it's still impacting us. But it feels sad. This is sad. This is a all is lost moment right now for this team. And I said it just kind of as a joke as far as the plot is concerned. You can't, a good movie needs to have their all is lost moment, but this might be worse than any of us were expecting. And this is just terrible for this organization right now at this point, considering that they've already, had a pretty bad run in the month of May. So B says, chat, we're cooked, right? Maybe we're getting close to being cooked, but again, it's baseball and there's entirely too much of it. So
as much as
you never know.
Was trying to pump everybody back up and say it's not Chicken Little out here, I will say this Braves series feels like everything. Like it means everything.
It means a lot.
The Braves obviously had a horrific start to the season, right? And then now they've picked it up a little bit. They're, they look like a playoff team, especially with Acuna. If you can win this series, I think that bodes well for this team moving forward. Like I really think that would be a massive series to win, but the Braves it feels like they own us too.
Stephen Weiss asked in the comments, is it confirmed a Tommy John for Corbin? No, not yet. We have not received any information, at least because sometimes I lose track of keeping up to date on things happening. I mean, this information could come in at any point. So I definitely feel like there's going to be an update soon. But hopefully that's not the update that we hear. We definitely need some positive news here coming out. Elise says this feels like rock bottom. Saturday was rock bottom, or like below rock bottom, excuse me. Saturday was rock bottom, but after the Corbin injury, this feels like we're buried under rock bottom, and you're not wrong. Saturday definitely felt like a new low after Brandon Pfaadt went out there and pitched what was described as a yes hitter. And we are going to talk about that, unfortunately, on the other side of this break. Don't you guys go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Well, we are thrilled to be working with some new partners around here, and I love our partners over at APS. And even though it's our electric company, they've been saving me some money, and hopefully they can save you some money. Did you know half of your energy costs come from heating and cooling? I figured that out once I installed some solar in my home, but a more important thing was getting a new smart thermostat. Those smart thermostats can work with your APS rate plan to maximize comfort and convenience while minimizing your energy costs. Plus, if you get the app, you can control your thermostat when you're not home. I do that all the time. Sometimes I make sure my dogs are taken care of, and sometimes I make sure that I just didn't leave it entirely too cold when I was going to be gone for the whole day. So you can make sure to be able to add a smart thermostat to your home, and APS wants to do that. They want to help you do that. APS customers may be eligible for smart thermostats for as low as $0 when you enroll in the APS Cool Rewards program. If you're not sure how to install a smart thermostat, free install is available at the APS Marketplace. If you already have a smart thermostat in your home, you can see if it's eligible to enroll in the Cool Rewards program. So find instant rebates, discounts, and special offers on smart thermostats, energy-efficient appliances, and more at marketplace.aps.com. Must be an APS customer and pay shipping and taxes. Other restrictions apply. Go to marketplace.aps.com for more information. And also, talking about things I love, let's talk about Wendy's.
This was, I couldn't believe this sponsorship when it became a thing.
Wendy's is my go-to place.
It is.
Wendy's is the GOAT for me. Wendy's is the one place that I know I'm going to get it in the airport, wherever I go. I know that it's going to be available in other places, and it's always going to satisfy me because I love Wendy's burgers, their fries, and most importantly, their Frosties. And they have opened a Frosty shop now. And I can't tell you how incredible this was for me the other night, Damon. I drove to Wendy's and I was hoping that they had something special in their Frosty, like a new flavor I was unaware of, or like maybe they had strawberry tonight and I can mix a little strawberry and chocolate. Boy, did I wish I had 2 pairs of socks because they knocked my socks off and I was sockless after that, because Wendy's Frosty Shop takes the classic Frosty flavors and infuses them with all sorts of wonderful creations. Their Frosty Fusions have Oreo brownie, caramel crunch, and Pop-Tart strawberry. They're putting chunks of Pop-Tarts in their strawberry Frosties. It's absurd. Not to mention that, yes, you can still get vanilla, but you can try all of the wonderful Frosties they have over there. I need some Frosties. We're supposed to get some Frosties here in studio, and I'm just going to, at some point, stop doing the show, and I'm just going to do like 2 solid minutes of me eating a Frosty. Also, yes, the French fries go with the Frosties. I'm going to tell you that now. Don't even get me started.
That's a fact. But I will say the Frosties, like, especially if the D-backs keep losing going down this stretch, just us eating ice cream, eating our feelings live on air. I mean, does it get any better than that? It
doesn't get any better. That's a great way to spend the night after a loss, for sure.
Mechanism.
So for sure. But anyway, it doesn't matter what flavor you're craving. Odds are they have a Frosty for it right now. So clock in for a sweet treat anytime, including midnight or later, with Wendy's all new Frosty flavors. A refresh on a classic? Absolutely. Got to be Wendy's. At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location. All right, well, talk about things being freezing cold, Damon. The Diamondbacks dropped 2 out of 3 to the Washington Nationals. Again, they did win on Sunday, which snapped their 4-game losing streak. But more importantly, they went 2-6 versus the Pirates and the Nationals in a stretch when, quite frankly, they needed to win. I think we had our guy that complimented me on my Magneto shirt. He was a Nationals fan the other day. I still like him because of the nice things he said about me, but he was kind of right? Like, he was like, I had no business calling the Nationals the worst team, considering at that point they had won. And at that point, they were the better team. Not only had they won that game, but they won the series that they played earlier in DC this year. So it's just a fact that this Diamondbacks team needed to show up against teams that they could beat, teams that they had a better chance of beating, teams that don't have a great record. And they did not do that. And more importantly, the Diamondbacks are now 13-11. 13-11 when they score 6 or more runs. I feel like I should just say that 10 times in a row for it to really sink in. They are 13-11 when they score 6 runs or more. Oh, my God. This was, at least on Sunday, their 2nd win with 3 hits or fewer, and their 5th win with scoring 3 runs or fewer. So they've been scoring plenty. It has not been about the offense, even though they have been bad with runners in scoring position quite a bit this year. But, I mean, this one, again, we lose Corbin Burnes. Our bullpen can't hold in Friday's game. And then what happened to Brandon Pfaadt on Saturday? Brandon Pfaadt threw what, as I described earlier, and has been described accurately as a yes hitter, because he did not record a single out in his start on Saturday. His line, he went 0.0 innings pitched, giving up 6 hits, 8 earned runs. He did not walk anybody. He did not strike anybody out. He also hit 2 batters. CJ Abrams, Damon, was hit 3 times in that game by 3 different pitchers.
I've actually done that before.
I don't know if that's your fault or their fault at that point.
I've done that before. 3 times in one game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Last one, it was like late in a game and just leaned in like as hard as you've ever seen. Just inside pitch. Oh, I'll take the third one.
I'll take that one. I'll take my base. But yeah, no, I don't understand what happened with Brandon Pfaadt. There's a lot of questions. A lot of people were honestly wondering, is he injured? Is there something wrong with him? We didn't really get any word about that, but we did get word that, of course, on Sunday, Corbin Burnes ends up leaving the game, being injured, and this series was just a mess. Let's take a look at the numbers from the series presented by our friends at Desert Financial. Diamondbacks get outscored 21-17. They actually hit more home runs than the Nationals. They hit 3, the Nationals hit 2, and they weren't terrible with runners in scoring position. They were 11 for 25. They just didn't have a ton of opportunities in this one. Nationals were 14 for 35. Starting pitching ERA, bad for both teams, but Diamondbacks 12.10. That deserves a thumbs down in the chat, 1,000%. The Nationals, there's a 7.63, not very good. Relief pitching ERA, kind of a push here. Diamondbacks had 3 earned runs over 9 innings on Saturday's game, so the bullpen really kind of stepped up there, and then stepped up really big, honestly, on Sunday, going 4 1/3 for the Diamondbacks, not allowing a single run in that win over the Nationals. They picked up the team when the team needed it the most. I think everybody thought when Corbin Burnes was leaving that game after, pitching just 4 innings that we were going to see things fall apart for this team. But luckily, the bullpen did do things. J Mart has shoved over the course of the weekend. Christian Mena was excellent in his outing out there. So there's a silver lining here, and things are starting to come together. The Diamondbacks do have some guys returning from injury. And again, we await with bated breath right now for the results of Corbin Burnes' MRI. Hopefully, this is a situation where the Diamondbacks do not lose him for significant time. Meanwhile, over the weekend, Josh Naylor hit his 7th home run in Saturday's game, had his 9-game hitting streak snapped on Sunday, did not get a hit there. Randall Grichuk hit his 3rd home run of the year in his first 3+ hit game since September 3rd, 2024. And Pavin Smith hit his first triple since 2021. Last time he did it was against the Rangers on September 7th, 2021. So Pavin Smith showing off the legs there. I think those were all on Saturday. But again, this team.
I don't want to hear that ever again.
What's that?
Pavin Smith showing off the legs.
Showing off those legs.
No
man.
thanks, man.
No, not. Okay, well, I was just, hey, I'm just saying. But again, the big thing here with this National Series, once again, is that the Diamondbacks don't have an easy schedule coming up in June. At least things get better. Hopefully turning the page on the month of May has been big, because this team was awful in the month of May. Let's take a look at our updated standings for the NL West, because they're still hellish here. I'm glad we moved the Rockies to just being infinity back. Imagine reaching 50 losses before you get 10 wins. Just imagine, once again, reaching 50 losses before you get to 9 wins. Diamondbacks sit currently in 4th place there at 28-31, 8 games back in the division. Meanwhile, the Giants are 33-26. The Padres are 33-24, and the Dodgers currently sit at 36-23. And Damon, I
was surprised, Eric, to see that the Rockies were infinity games back. But when you start doing the math on it, it makes sense.
It does make sense. And also, I don't really, I know this is probably mean to say, but I don't know if we should keep them on the chart in the division.
But if the Diamondbacks were then last, that would make you feel really
you're
bad.
Right. You're right. When you say that definitely,
the Rockies exist to make us feel better about how disappointing our franchise is.
Yeah, you're right. Jacob Franklin says the anti-tanking rules in place before the anti-deferral of money rule. Yeah, hopefully we get a chance to have both of those things be illegal. Luckily, like I said, they do turn the page on the month of May. The Diamondbacks are undefeated in June, so there's that. We look to take on the Braves tonight, but May was as bad as it possibly could be. The Diamondbacks went 11-17 in the month of May with a -20 run differential after going 14-12 in April and 2-2 in March. So this team has not been very good in the month of May, to say the least, and a lot of bad things happened. Let's just keep that to May. Let's have that. Let's have May just be really bad, and then we'll just always remember how bad May was. Look at how this team turned things around. So that's what we need right now. I'm actually kind of surprised with how bad things have been for the Diamondbacks, that the division hasn't kind of run away a little bit more with it. And not to say that I'm thrilled to be 8 games back from the Dodgers, but it does feel like it could be much worse. So at least, again, another silver lining on that cloud is that we'll say that much. But on the other side of this break, you know what day it is. We're going to turn things around. I mean, we're going to have a lot of questions about a lot of bad things first, but eventually we'll get to some silly questions. So don't you go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondbacks show. Of course, as you know, I've been trying to warn you, and now it's too late. The summer is here, and it's impossible to survive the summer in Arizona without a decent pair of sunglasses. You can rectify that right now, though, with our friends at Shady Rays. Shady Rays has some quality optics, of course, crystal clear optics with their polarized lenses, and you can even upgrade them to these amazing color rush lenses. They have hundreds of designs and color combinations, designs, and lenses to choose from. And of course, they also have the craziest lost and broken replacement plan in all of eyewear. They will replace your sunglasses, no questions asked. If you lose them or break them, even on day one, they got your back as long as you are a customer of theirs. So if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. I'm bad with that. I lose my sunglasses all the time. I lose them in my own car where I know I dropped them down like in the side crack, and then they're never to be seen again. So if you're like me, make sure to check out Shady Rays. If you don't love your shades, you can exchange them for a new pair or return them worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop, and I know sometimes things online don't always look the same when you get them in person. So PHNX viewers and listeners, right now go to shadyrays.com and save 35% off polarized sunglasses with code PHNX. Over 300,000 people have rated Shady Rays 5 stars, so use code PHNX today at shadyrays.com. And of course, whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Bet365 does make watching live sports more fun with their live in-game betting. They pioneered live in-game betting, and they currently offer the widest range of games and markets available across 78 sports. And you can get down on MLB action with their MLB early payout offer, where you are a winner if your team goes up by 5 runs or 11 runs in the first inning. That was too soon probably, but if your team goes up by 5 runs, you are a winner with an instant payout on straight bets and parlay selections, which will be marked as winners as well. So new customers right now, get down on our offer using code PHNX365. You can get $150 in bonus bets when you bet $5, win or lose. All you got to do is sign up, use that code of PHNX365 when you do, deposit $10 and place a bet for 5 or more to receive $150 in bonus bets if your bet wins or loses. Bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, players, props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 or over and physically located in Arizona. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP, text NEXT STEP to 53342, or visit problemgambling.az.gov. Damon, you're back, but things haven't changed around here. Every year on this podcast, Damon, is still the year of the snake. It is still our year. Every month on this podcast, Damon, is still Black History Month. It's still Women's History Month. And every month on this podcast is still Black Women's History Month. Every week on this show is Shark Week. Every day is a dog day of summer in honor of Damon Dawg. But of course, on Mondays, we still go to the mailbag. Damon, do you remember how to go to the mailbag?
Interesting in my mailbox. I try to get to everything in my mailbox. And then once in a while, there's a letter that makes me go, wow, wow, my mailbox.
All right, what do we got in the mailbag today, my guy?
Look at question number 1 here from Travis Moore, who just the leadoff hitter. Derek, you said you did this specifically for me.
Of course,
so
of course. I put him right back in the leadoff spot because I know how you like things to be. You like things to be a certain way.
Yeah, that's special. It certainly makes me feel comfortable and right back at home. But Travis Moore says, in your mind, what is the best and worst case scenario for what Burnes is going through right now?
Well, best case scenario is that it's something that could be rectified in a month, right? That maybe Burnes misses at the most 4 starts out of the rotation and then is able to come back. Worst case scenario, obviously, is Tommy John surgery and that the Diamondbacks lose him for the rest of the year. I mean, maybe even a worse case than that is like some sort of career-ending injury, obviously. But right now, the worst case scenario. I mean, he asked for worst case scenario.
That was a level that I did not expect it to be taken to.
I gotta be a little like honest here. I'm just saying, like, what you never know with these injuries. Not to say that it's the case, but I'm just saying.
Here's the worst case scenario. He's out for the rest of the year. He's also out for next year. He sits out next year, and then he opts out of his contract the year after that and leaves and goes somewhere else. And
then he goes and shoves in that 3 seasons from now. And
he wins 3 Cy Youngs back to back to back.
Right.
He's unbelievable.
Right. Him and Jordan Montgomery is just this amazing tandem for like the St. Louis Cardinals or something like that. Ugh. Gross.
So what did you say for best case?
No, best case, I mean, he's going to miss time, right? I doubt that he's going to miss, he's not, I don't feel like he's just going to miss 1 start. Like, I would love to be hopeful and be like, he'll be right back in there. I doubt it with the severity of the way this injury sounds. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. It's a thing where he only misses a couple of starts, right? Like, that probably is the only, the best case scenario right now at this point.
Yeah.
But again, it feels like that's being a little too optimistic about it. So I kind of threw it more like a month. Like, we get him back in July. and he's back in the starting rotation, and everything looks good. So I don't know. I'm trying to remain cautiously optimistic on this one, but it makes me sad.
Next question here coming from Russell. Depending on what the MRI results are, do y'all think that the Dbacks make trades for decent pitchers or bring up Yumin Lin or someone like that?
Well, at this point, it's about assets, right? So, I mean, the Diamondbacks are going to be in a desperate position, and then it starts to become about other teams being able to take advantage of that. So far, I feel like the Diamondbacks have been the ones that have been a little bit more in the business of trying to take advantage of things, even when it comes to free agency, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jordan Montgomery kind of was disappointed with his contract situation during that free agency offseason, didn't get the contract he wanted. Diamondbacks swooped him and gave him like an annual value that he was like happier with, but not the time that he wanted. And again, they kind of did that based on the fact they weren't going to commit a long-term deal to him, thank God, but they did commit a lot of money to him over 2 seasons, and that was enough to kind of draw him in. Corbin Burnes, not really going to spend the kind of money on Corbin Burnes that they thought they would. Probably got him for a little bit of a discount because he wanted to play here in Arizona. His family wanted to be here in Arizona. So they were quick to act on the fact that they had something with these guys and sign them, because not only were they the best pitchers available on the market, but there was a reason that the Diamondbacks were able to be in the conversation. And it wasn't just about outbidding other teams. It was, again, jumping on the Montgomery situation when it was a bit advantageous because he wasn't getting the offers that he thought he was going to get. And then again, the Burnes hometown situation thing. So I don't know, man. I mean, this isn't great right now for this team, but I don't think that they're going to be able to go out there and make a trade or anything like that that's going to like make up for the loss of a guy like Corbin Burnes, right? So right now,
Totally.
they're in a position where at least they have, if Eduardo Rodriguez, fingers crossed, comes back from his injury and can be somewhat of the pitcher that we thought we were getting, a little bit more around a 4 ERA instead of a 7 ERA, and Ryne Nelson can continue to be as good as he has been, then maybe they don't miss too much without Corbin Burnes being in the starting rotation. I just don't know if they're going to continue to be all in on this season, considering how dire things would be with the loss of Burnes. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could see them, and I think we have another question about this, so I don't want to jump ahead, but we'll talk a little bit about them being potentially sellers at the deadline, and that's something I could very much see with the expiring contracts that they currently have.
Yeah, I think, Christian Mena's shown this season some flashes, right, in his 2 appearances. That's a guy you can maybe look to a little bit from a organizational standpoint. Yumin Lin, a little bit too early for him. He is in Reno right now. He's 6 years on average, lower than the average age in AAA right now.
Oh, yeah.
Has a 4.91 ERA. I mean, I know it's Reno, so you have to take that with a grain of salt, but I think that he needs a little bit more slow cook development for sure. But I could see them making a trade if they were hovering around 500 at the deadline still, maybe for a guy that has a little bit more control, because I think that they like having like a guy that has like 2 years left on his contract or something like that. I think that's kind of the avenue we're looking at if they bring in a new starting pitcher, not like a expiring kind of star level pitcher that you might be able to get for somewhat of a discount at a deadline, like one of the more conventional big name targets you would see, but maybe more of like a kind of middle of the rotation, 2 or 3 years of control type of guy.
What I will say is that the Diamondbacks are going to be in a unique spot here, and they do have a lot of assets that could really change the dynamic of Major League Baseball should they start to be sellers at the trade deadline. So that's something that is interesting and could result in the Diamondbacks being able to, revamp their roster quite a bit.
Yeah.
But I think, like I said, I think we have a question about that, so I'm jumping ahead. What else we got?
Next question comes from Ryan. Ryan says, should there be a change with the team, players, coaches? Obviously, this formula is not working. When does it get to the point of selling high on a lot of guys and let the kids play like in 2022? We saw the positive results of that in 2023. Is it unrealistic to want that again?
I think it's a little unrealistic to want that again. I mean, these are still the same kids, and they're still kids, right? So I think that when people are asking about if there should be a change with the team, the players, the coaches, maybe that's not working out. I don't really know. I really don't know. I mean, obviously the results, especially with the pitching, aren't what to be desired, especially considering that Brian Kaplan was a guy that specialized in biomechanics and was big on, ensuring the guys didn't get injured, was big on knowing, the human body. And it doesn't, at least right now, it doesn't seem to be impacting the team with less injuries or with guys being able to go out there and give this team more than they normally do, right? We've already had Merrill Kelly have the cramping issue, which seems to have gotten better, but still something that popped up this year. Erod's missed time due to injury. Obviously, whatever's happening with Corbin Burnes, Zach Gallen's been a mess. So there's a lot of reasons that maybe people would think that a change of pitching coach is what is needed. I mean, but the Diamondbacks had one of the most legendary pitching coaches there last year. We thought that this was going to be big for them, having Brent Strom, and for some reason that didn't work out for this team. Doesn't appear that Brent Strom was necessarily the issue, but I don't really know. It's the same thing with Sean Larkin over there at third base. Gino Suarez has been thrown out at home more times than any other player in Major League Baseball. The Diamondbacks have had a lot of base running errors, and quite frankly, their defense has been sloppy this year, but they also have had changes with their personnel as well. So I don't know who to blame it on. You and I covered Christian Walker quite a bit, and it's hard to stop saying that that Christian Walker over there is not, is not impacting this team defensively a little bit. But Elise said in the chat, the let the kids play would mean Lawler getting regular at bats that he clearly isn't ready for. We're not there yet. And yeah, I mean, the Lawler situation was kind of a mess in itself. And it's something that, not to say that we didn't know it was going to be as bad as it was, but there were a lot of signs before Lawler even came up to a major league level that he wasn't ready to hit major league pitching. And a lot of it had to do with his performance against the breaking ball in the minors. But I mean, if you don't think guys that are under 25 years old are still kids, I don't know what to tell you, because the kids are still out there and they're still playing and they're still learning. But yeah, Seawalk is also a bum this year, and probably, he says it probably has worse fielding statistics than the GOAT, Josh Naylor. All right. Well, I don't think that's the case, but I will say that Seawalk has been a mess this year. And I said it earlier, but man, could you imagine if they brought Jock Peterson back and Christian Walker back and paid them a bunch of money to come back, and then they were playing the way that they're playing for their respective teams? Things would be an even bigger mess for this team than they are right now. So they dodged those bullets. But
as far as coaching, Elise says it here, like Kaplan and Larkin, she says they both need to go. It sucks that those are the two guys that you bring in from last offseason, and it's two very glaring weaknesses of the team. I think that's discouraging for people, right? Like, I wasn't always the biggest Paris Chica fan because I thought he was I think he was a little bit indecisive at times.
He's made his fair share of mistakes.
He would like roll people through, and then halfway through try to slow them up, and it just didn't work like that. But
yeah, then
you go to the other side of the spectrum. You're being way too aggressive. You make the pitching coach change. Your pitching is still awful. Like that's the kind of stuff that's demoralizing, I think, to this fan base.
Well, and I think
that's why people want change.
I think having guys with experience, no offense to either one of these guys, but neither Sean Larkin nor Brian Kaplan have had a ton of experience at either of those positions, right? So I felt like maybe that could be a difference maker, is guys that have coached that position, have been those guys for years. I feel like the experience is really what's missing there potentially. So, I mean, it gets to a point where you can't help but notice how bad things have been for this team in those two areas that those guys specialize in. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a change, but also I don't know. I don't know if any change is coming very soon when it comes to coaching. I think it's too easy right now to blame it on the, on the inconsistencies from the team themselves and say it's them more than it's the coaches. All right, what else we got?
Next question comes from Fleaball, and Fleaball says, what grade would you give Larkin as third base coach so far? Seems like a pretty big downgrade from Paris Chica. Larkin keeps sending Gino and Gabby with less than 2 outs. I would not even send Gino home in MLB The Show.
Yep, we were just talking about this. So, yeah, no, I mean, so far, again, the results aren't there. And that's like what that we have to talk about. I've said it before, being around people makes you like people, but the results for Brian Kaplan and for Sean Larkin have not been there this season. So
Gino is currently first percentile in base running value in Major League Baseball this year. It says he's cost the team 3 runs.
He has. I mean, he's been thrown out at home 5 times, Damon. So there's that. And again, that's the most in Major League Baseball. So
5 times is insane. I don't know if I played baseball my whole life. I don't know if I got thrown out at home 5 times in my entire life combined.
It's hard to go back and like really kind of see who's at fault. But again, it's knowing things about your players. I've said at times that these guys being newer coaches, there was going to be growing pains. This happened very quickly, and it's not like there's a ton of time for you to learn exactly how fast each guy is currently, and to be able to kind of, use your judgment in that split second situation on whether to send them or not. Right. But Gino has proven that he doesn't have that speed. So I don't know why, you would continue to send him. I don't know. But again, sometimes it's about being too conservative. That's kind of been a problem. I think that's been seen for this team. And I don't know. Their base running has just been so bad. This has not been the team that we have come to know and love, that caused chaos on the base path and made the opposition make mistakes. Quite frankly, we've seen the Diamondbacks make far more mistakes on the base path this season, and I think it's hard not to have Sean Larkin be accountable for a portion of that, for sure.
Yeah, and on top of that, like it's all those little things that, like you're saying, they used to do that made you fall in love with this team that they're just not doing whatsoever. It's not just the base running, it's also the defense. And that's, you can't regress in those type of things, right? Like obviously they sacrificed a little bit of that to, up their power numbers, up their ability to hit home runs. And I think that was warranted after 2023, but you lost too much of your identity from 2023 to now.
Yeah.
And I think you got to find a way to get that back in some capacity.
We've talked about that. We talked about what is Diamondbacks baseball, right?
Yeah.
Because you hear Torey almost use that cliche a lot right now. And again, he's used the fact that he's disappointed, he's frustrated, and that this team is not doing their jobs and not playing the Diamondbacks brand of baseball that they know they can play, right? But I don't know if we've seen that often this year. I don't know if we've really seen them play Diamondbacks baseball in very many games. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that this team has new coaches. This team has new players. Christian Walker over at first base, his value sometimes was very understated when it comes to his defensive value. It had more to do with his ability to, field a lot of those bad throws that were kind of tossed over at him and make sure all of them ended up in the glove and it resulted in an out. Versus, what we're seeing. Like when you do talk about Josh Naylor and the struggles that we've seen, they haven't really been on Josh Naylor. He hasn't been the one getting hit with the errors. It's usually throwing errors on someone like, Geraldo Perdomo or Gino. It's not really an error on Naylor not fielding the ball properly over there at first base. It's just this weird, vacuum that Christian Walker kind of was, where you could just toss anything over there and he'd grab it. So I think that's a bit of what's missing. Tony Perez-Chica also a lot of what's missing, right? The third base coach is responsible for defensive positioning and things like that. And again, the Diamondbacks have not been really great in their defensive positioning at times. They've also just not been great defensively this year. They've quite frankly looked like a fractured team at times when it comes to their defense. So we're going to talk more about your Mailbag Monday questions on the other side of this break. But now I'm sad. And I need something. I need funny questions now, Damon, so that I'm not sad anymore. So we'll do that on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the PHNX Diamondback Show. Of course, now is a great time of the year for you to go out there and improve your home. If you are like me, your child might be on summer break, and now is a great time to get them to uproot their lives a little bit while you put in some new flooring and make your home better for this fall. So like every sports team, you need a home field advantage, a home court advantage. Let Empire Today help you make your home much better with their new with new flooring, which always looks great. And they have flooring experts that are dedicated to helping you get this job done. You can go to some of those big box stores. They might have some cheaper prices on tile, Maybe they'll have the flooring you're looking for. However, you won't have the expert knowledge that you're looking for, and they probably won't be anywhere to be found in that big box store. But if you are overwhelmed, sometimes trying to find new flooring, you can look to Empire Today, who lives and breathes flooring. They eat flooring, they sleep flooring. They will be with you every step of the way, and it's a whole different ballgame with Empire Today. They are flooring experts that will bring the showroom directly to you. You can pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space, in your space. That way you can see how the lighting is going to impact which flooring you choose and how it's going to go with the rest of your home. And it's just convenient. Nobody wants to go out and try to make an appointment and do it on someone else's time. Let them do it on your time, and you can get precise measurements taken and have all of your questions answered so that there are no surprises. Plus, with Empire Today, you get clear upfront and all-inclusive pricing, and you can schedule your installation as soon as the next day. So schedule a free in-home estimate right now, because some things are just better at home. PHNX listeners can receive a $350 discount when you use promo code PHNX. You heard me right, $350 off with code PHNX. Restrictions do apply. Visit EmpireToday.com/PHNX for full details. And of course, I'm not really hot today because it's one of the rare, nice cloudy days here in Phoenix, Arizona during the summer, but it's going to get hot fast. And if you're like me, you're thirsty, stop by Circle K, get yourself something to drink. If you're a part of their inner circle, you get all sorts of other discounts too that people that aren't part of the club don't get. You get 79-cent Polar Pops, get 99-cent Frosters, you get 3 for $7 Ghosts, and of course, you also get the Circle K exclusive flavor Strabango. Strabango, Damon. Have you had the Strabango yet?
I'm sorry, one more time?
Strabango.
I'm thinking strawberry, I'm thinking mango.
You are correctly thinking strawberry and mango.
Is that what we're doubling up here?
Strabango.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing. So make sure. They have all sorts of exclusive flavors. They have a summer blaze flavor of Gatorade. They have their exclusive watermelon ice of Celsius. And of course, you can save 30 cents per gallon on fuel when you buy 3 Celsius. So join the inner circle for free. Save yourself some money. If you're not in the inner circle, you're just wasting money. So join today by downloading the Circle K app. Terms and conditions apply at participating locations. Visit CircleK.com for details. All right, Damon. Well, what else do we got? We got some more questions in the mailbag?
We certainly do. Let's go on to question number 5 here from our guy, Ryan Hanley. Says, Gino home runs are the only thing that brings me joy lately. Can someone tell me how many home runs he has? And I will say, Derek, I do not have our special little graphic here.
Oh, good. So that maybe that little beard tracker died with Kevin, and then we don't do the beard thing because Gino.
I'll make sure I get it.
No.
I'll make sure I get it after this show.
No, 16 is what he's up to. In fact, Corbin Carroll and Gino Suarez both have 16. The only teammates in baseball to have that many home runs. So, like you said earlier, the Diamondbacks have no problem with power. That is not the issue right now. The problem with this team has been pitching and has been the bullpen and has been other things. Right now, it's losing starting pitchers. That's the new problem of the day for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So hopefully we don't continue to have that problem. But Gino, yeah, I want to dye my beard teal, I guess. I mean, I think that's
demoralizing would dyeing your beard teal while this team sucks.
How
much would that hurt?
That would be the worst. That would be the worst. That, like, if this is done in vain, if this is just a vanity project of Gino hitting a lot of home runs but it not leading to wins, I might just shave my beard off is what I might do.
The Dbacks have the highest payroll in baseball to not make the playoffs, and Gino Suarez is making Derek dye his beard teal.
I'll tell you, if it's this color of teal that I'm wearing right now, it's gonna be hot. It's gonna be hot. This is gonna be a hot look come August or September. What else we got? Let's go to more questions.
Next question comes from Cesar. He says, Derek, why are we cursed and forsaken by the baseball gods?
I told you earlier, Cesar. It's because the Diamondbacks basically Chase Field was built on some sort of ancient burial ground. I know that's part of it.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that, Derek, because I actually came prepared for this answer, and it's really quite simple. If you look at this map here, you see the Hohokam Core Cultural Area in what was ancient Arizona times prior to the United States colonizing the time. If you very much zoom in here, you can see that kind of larger heat map centers really around that Phoenix area. And then if you even zoom in more, I'm pretty sure you can see Chase Field. Oh, no. Is that Chase Field right there?
Oh, my God. What have we done? What have we done? Oh, yeah, no,
It's pretty simple, actually.
yeah.
I was looking at like all of the other native tribes in that area, and there's 0 other baseball stadiums for professional teams that are being built in that area. I think it, like in the Colorado, Utah,
I can't
New
argue with
Mexico
facts.
area of the world.
I can't argue with facts. I literally can't argue with facts. What I will say is that I know as another fact that one of the participants in the Randy Johnson signing was the Devil, and there was an attempted exchange involving a soul or two, and then they thought they were getting crafty out of it, because Jerry Colangelo, he's very good at this. He was like, what if we gave you our bullpen soul? And they were like, okay. Now we're talking a little bit.
They're like, Kim might be terrible in this postseason.
Yeah.
But just get us through, even with him being bad. Give us the ring.
Yeah.
And we'll have a bad bullpen for the rest of our organization's history.
Right.
And they were like, sure. Sounds like a deal.
Yeah, if you have another pitcher, like another guy that comes around like in the mid 2000s, there's something bad will befall him as well. And then, we're going to continue to take your arms as this organization goes on, but you get your ring. So, yeah. All right. What else we got? I think we answered that question sufficiently with accurate
I
data.
brought science and facts to the table.
Yep.
Question number 7 comes from our friend Jacob Franklin. Big Jake, if you will, says, what's your favorite D-backs memory? Going to try and keep this one light.
Keep it light? Sounds like the D-backs are dead and we're mourning them. What's your favorite D-backs memory? Like they don't exist anymore. That's what that question, keep it light. That's not light for me. That is not light for me, Damon. I think I've already said that my favorite moment was the postseason in 2023 when I ran downstairs quickly to get some content. And the Diamondbacks just started hitting one home run after the next against the Dodgers. Because I was like down. A lot of moments that I've experienced, because I've been covering this team for 13 years, have been in the press box. And it's hard to say like those moments were exciting, because in the press box, you can't really cheer. You can't really, have a lot of excitement. Like everybody, don't get me wrong. There's some murmuring going on when something happens, right? But for the most part, it's a lot more exciting to be down with people when those moments happen. So, a lot of my best memories are either there as a fan or, again, moments like that, which, high-fiving ushers and fans and hugging random strangers because of what was going on felt a bit surreal. Also, the moment we shared in this office of the Diamondbacks securing their place in the World Series and hugging a group of people like we did and feeling that emotion of the Diamondbacks, getting back there was special. That 2023 postseason run.
Derek, F everybody else though. It was about me and you in that moment.
It really was.
It was.
When you go back and watch that,
it might. Everyone else might not even as well as be there.
No.
It was Damon and Derek locking eyes with each other and being like, "We
slow
did
motion."
it.
Yeah. You climbing over stuff to get to me.
Yeah.
It was like
I'm gonna get emotional thinking about that. That one was special.
It was like a romantic comedy
yeah.
or something, like where at the end they like rushed together to be with each other because they realized that there's nobody else they wanted to share this moment with other than that person. And there was like, if you think of it in that terms, it looks like there's a group of people that are trying to hold me back from you. Like they're all hugging me, but I didn't want their hugs. I was just trying to.
No, you're forcing your way through. I get it.
Trying to blast through.
And I wouldn't have it any other way. I would say. Also, we've talked about it a lot. The Archie Bradley triple, being in that stadium was one of the cool. Like I had goosebumps watching that.
Amazing.
So I would say either the celebration going to the World Series or that triple was probably the two coolest things for me. Well, and I love Big Jake going full dad mode, just being like,
"What was your favorite memory?"
Yeah, well, tell us something positive.
Yeah, let's turn this around.
Positives.
Let's turn this around. By the way, Jacob would want me to tell you right now to go keep watching us over at gophnx.com. If you're watching us on your favorite app, television, wherever you're at, make sure to join us. We're going to keep this party going. No way Damon and I getting back together was only going to last 1 hour. That was impossible. We knew that from the start. But Jacob does say that his was when he won the Legends race in dress shoes, dressed up in, I think was he ketchup? Was he ketchup hot dog? I think he was the ketchup hot dog.
No idea.
He faced off against Shane and an actual small child. Oh no, he says Legends race. I'm thinking of the hot dog race.
Yeah.
That's when they faced a small child. They got smoked in that one, by the kid, by the way. I'm pretty sure of that. But Jacob was in he was Matt Williams in the Legends race, and he raced it with dress shoes on. That's impressive.
It is impressive. But he's also got long strides, man. He's got long. He took like 6 steps and he finished the race.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
Are we taking this one into overtime, Derek?
Yeah, let's go into overtime. We call it extra innings around here, Damon, but it's whatever the same.
Sure.
Thing. We use the right terminology.
I can get with the program.
Yeah, we got it. We'll figure it out. But yeah, make sure to join us. Like I said, conversation continues online. We're over here at gophnx.com. We got a couple of more questions. I don't know if I got one of them in, but we're going to get to Chris's question as well. But our guy Cody from CHGO, they're living their best lives over there covering the Cubs, and it makes me sick. He makes me sick. But I love him, and I'm glad to get this question from him, Damon.
Will you give the Zach Gallen to the Cubs for considerations of cash?
Not yet. Not yet. Maybe there'll be a point. But no, I would rather keep Zach Gallen and lose him for nothing rather than give him to you for cash considerations. I've seen what Zach Gallen does pitching in big stadiums, big atmospheres.
Oh, he'd be unreal at Wrigley.
He would be unreal in Wrigley. It would be like trading him to one of the New York teams. It would be a huge mistake, and there's no way that I'm going to let that happen. And if anything, he's going to go somewhere. He's got to go somewhere milk related, right? We got to send him to Milwaukee. That would be where we send him.
Yeah, that actually would be fire. I'm more thinking like, yeah, we could send him to Chicago. How does like maybe Pete Crow Armstrong coming back the other way?
Oh,
does that sound?
Yeah. If we want to get ridiculous, since you're giving us cash
trade.
considerations, yeah, sure. Why not? Why not? Let's. Can we have Kyle Tucker? Can we have Kyle Tucker? I don't know if we even want him right now, but anyway, did you get Chris's question in? If not, I'm going to verbally ask it. I sent it too late. Okay. So Chris threw in a question, which I saw but did not put in. And our very own Den Mom, Chris, asks, suggest an alternate shape for bases. All have to be different from each other. You may elect to keep home plate as is, because we can't mess with home plate, right? Home plate's a column, the way pitches come in. What shape are you making bases, Damon, go?
Wow. Probably, I know this is going to make Chris happy. This beautiful block A right behind me.
Gross.
Look at that shape. That is a good looking shape.
That's the shape you pick? You're allowed to pick any shape and you pick that damn shape? What is wrong with you?
That's a good looking shape.
You're a bad guy.
I like that shape.
You're a bad guy. The right answer is circle, because circle that'd be hilarious. I don't know why. I don't know why circle would be. I'd make it a circle and I'd make it even bigger because people couldn't stop talking about it being a pizza box. So I would make it literally the size of I found out that this pizza place by me makes a 34-inch pizza, Damon. So I'm going to make it that big as well. We're going to get some stolen base action happening here. But circle, right? Circle's a good shape for a base.
What about like a pizza slice?
Just the triangle. We'll see. You're still trying to fit it into the U of A shape is what I feel like over there. But
this one?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, you know what? Now that you mention it, that does sound like a good idea.
See, look, it's over my shoulder too. I hate this. I hate it here. Damon comes in and this is what he does. Sets me up for success. You can't see the little tiny Lourdes behind me. Where's bobblehead Jerry P? He's not here. He's over on Damon's desk. Nicholas Batty says rhombus. Good call. Good pull. Rhombus is a good pull. Whatever shape that would allow hijinks and shenanigans on the base path. I still can't believe we got to a point now where jammed fingers are such a thing that guys actually wear like oven mitts, and that's just become part of the game of baseball. But that's where we're at now. So I'm still sticking with circle. That's what I got. But so great to see you guys here. Thank you guys for stopping by today. Damon, he's here. He's not going anywhere. This man brings his playoff stash to the Diamondbacks, and he is ready to hopefully help turn things around. We need it bad. Not only do we need it bad, but we definitely need some good mojo when it comes to this Corbin Burnes news. I think we had one other good shape. Someone said crescent moon. It's pretty good. Wow. We get a star. Imagine a star as the shape of the base. Little edges. You could just get a little bit of it when you're sliding in. I'm liking this changing the base shape thing. You know, I feel like I was keeping it too much in the traditional triangle square shape kind of situation. I like crescent moon. That's a good one. But I also like you guys. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Of course, we appreciate your time. As I've said before, your time is your most valuable commodity. Thank you for sharing it with Damon and myself. We will see you back here tomorrow with with another post-game show. We will be live for all 3 games for the Atlanta Braves series. So join us tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then on Friday, we'll be back here with another show at noon. So, of course, until then, follow us on Twitter. I am at Cap_Caveman with a K. Damon is at Damon Dawg, because we are all Damon's dogs. Bark, bark. Of course, our show is at PHNX_Dbacks. But as always, all roads lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thank you guys. Thank you guys again for your questions. Thank you for stopping by. We will see you tomorrow. In the meantime, behave yourselves. And remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it is so much more fun when you get a positive diagnosis from your MRI results.
We all silly like the mayor.